This is a book review that's been scripted by myself, and I'm reading it from my WordPress blog. And I'll just show you the book. There's an arc I got from Reid, and it's called Den of Dragons, and it's by the various authors of the Crimson Cloak Publishing. It also features Reid with her 2 short stories, The Dragon Wakes and The Beached Whale. Okay, I will stop occasionally to show you the quotes within the book review. Book review by Pauline Reid, Den of Dragons, Volume 11 of Crimson Cloak Anthologies. What this book is about. First of all, I'd like to sincerely thank Reid for giving me an arc of Den of Dragons in exchange for an honest review. This is a collection of short stories, the theme, dragons, and written by various authors from Crimson Cloak Publishing. Titles such as Dragons Are Extinct, Margaret the Fox Dragon, The Fiery Sneeze, but the 2 short stories I was drawn to the most is from Reid, The Dragon Wakes and The Beached Whale. Book review by Pauline Reid, The Dragon Wakes by Reid. What the story is about. Beginning the story in 1927, we are back in the monument room, where the dragon statue has come alive. Alexandra is seeing it develop into a living creature, at the same time thinking, how can she protect all the antiques with this creature bursting into a humongous thing? There, she did it. Alexandra contained the creature with locking the door. The dragon, of course, managed to get out. It was taking over the whole place. It even managed to escape, flying to the ocean, the great southern ocean, leaving the tower and the monument room of Thornton Park in tatters. Was this a dream Alexandra had? She wondered herself. Alexandra thought best to check anyway. Her thoughts ran to Edie. Alexandra blamed her for her imagination that ran away with her. Yes, it was best to check anyway. So Alexandra unlocked the door. And what did she find? Well, after her revelation, Alexandra decided now that she was awake to go to Edith's bedroom and wake her up, although Edith wasn't all that pleased about being woken up and being dragged along to sea. Yes, Alexandra was back in business again, cracking the codes of what may lay ahead. Dreams or pearls of wisdom. Which one was it that Alexandra discovered? Something else too was discovered. Something that sailed the ocean. Now what could that be? what I thought. The Dragon Wakes is a short story that follows on from the novel The Dragon Sleeps. It can be read as a standalone story. I'm dumbstruck again. I can't believe how Ellen comes up with these imaginative ideas. Ellen needs to be recognised in a way as a superior, well-known author should be recognised, either with a title best-selling author, or maybe a knighthood and be called a dame, because this short story is not just exceptional, but extraordinary. Ellen's reading is in tone with the book, written in her usual style of Alexandra playing detective, and with Edith, her adopted and best friend, chiming in every now and again, and the tittle-tattle of snatched chats, not always smothered with wittiness, as we do have a sense of realism of Edith's mood in this short story this time, which we didn't see much of in The Dragon Sleeps and The Diamond Ring. Everything, as always, is well balanced. The short story, short enough, and my interest and being intrigued and fascinated didn't wane a bit. Ellen's punchlines, perfect. Ellen's wittiness in the story, perfect. The placing of factual information within the story, perfect. Perfect at its best. Here are some quotes I enjoyed. A flood of moonlight washed over her. In her mind's eye she could see the dragon soaring into the sky, its leg extended as it carried its golden pearl high. Alexandra's thoughts swirled like butterflies in her head. The grandfather clock in the main hall ticked the seconds away. And one that I actually did a photo to, which is this one here. And I'll just give you enough time for you to have a look at that. And then what I'll do is I will now read it. The dragon's statue shivered and shook. Its brass scales stretched and separated. Its clawed hand holding the pearl quivered and quavered until its leg extended and, still holding the pearl in its claw, it plunged it through the iron bars. I gave it a 5-star rating. Recommendation. I highly recommend you read this little masterpiece and would suit anyone who is an Agatha Christie fan, anyone who is into Chinese mythology, anyone who likes cozy mysteries, anyone who likes a bit of fantasy in a book, who likes historical fiction, and anyone who likes short stories, and anyone who likes a bit of wittiness in their books. A continuation of the book review. Book review by Pauline Reid. The Beached Whale by Alan Reid. What this short story is about. Wilhelmina landed herself on her favourite beach, a beach that has coconuts. Wilhelmina is special because she could talk. Wilhelmina called out to her imaginary friend Daisy, the dragon, to drag her away from the beach she admired, because some people were coming to help her. But you see, she wasn't really stuck. She just admired the coconuts and was thinking of where the coconut milk tasted yummy. Now back safe and sound on a small island in the Pacific Ocean with Daisy, who could now materialise, Daisy now questioned Wilhelmina why she needed to go to the other beach, considering theirs had sand and trees. Wilhelmina explained she likes the coconuts. However, Daisy was quite cross with Wilhelmina, and a disagreement was taking place about something when Tilly the tiger sauntered out of her slumber, asking what was going on. Peace was restored when Betty the butterfly appeared. So what did Betty do to save the day? Who is this mysterious brown owl that's just appeared, and where is she going? And then, of course, just out of the blue, something magical happened. A random visit from her friend Ursa, the unicorn who could only appear at the full moon. What did she have to say? My thoughts. Initially, when I read this story, end of November 2017, I remembered that I wept. I wept for joy. I wept because it was such a touching story. I wept because this meant so much to me. I wept because it was close to my heart. And I wept at the appreciation of being able to see this story before it ever went to print. Although Ellen at the time was known more of a cosy mystery writer, I knew she had it in her, something else, and that I could encourage Ellen to shine that bit more and become a children's writer as well. Yes, I was part of this inspiration. I'm still got the email saying so. So all I can say is that this is a beautiful piece of writing about a whale, butterfly, tiger, an owl, and a unicorn that come together as friends and go away as friends. No matter what type of animal they are, they just seem to get along just fine. In other words, life is too short to argue, and we should listen to people when they speak and not be too busy. A happy ending is always in Ellen's work. This is certainly, for me, a therapeutic read after a hard slog huge book. It was a comfort. It was a hug. And here are some quotes that I picked out, which Ellen and I sort of discussed as I was making up this book review. I'll read you them first, and then you can have a look at the picture as well. Wilhelmina admired people for trying to save beached whales. After all, humans were so little, and her species was so big. And that was the quote that we both decided on. The next one is, her beautiful iridescent blue wings shimmered as she twirled. She giggled and then flew over to land on Daisy's nose. And that's the other quote, this quote that I've just said, in picture format. And the last one I did in picture format is, Olivia said, complaining won't help. Life is too short to complain about things. Olivia is the owl. And we tried to keep it simple because it is a children's book and you don't want to complicate it too much for children. And I've just got a few more that are just text only. Here was Daisy already. She could feel the wind from her wings on her body. They all shook their heads and felt a little guilty for not staying and listening. A full moon shone high in the sky. Its silvery beams painted the water in luminescent beauty. Ursa walked away from the others and looked up at the moon. After only seconds, a shaft of moonlight shone down onto her. Crystals of magic danced in the moonbeams. She raised her head and felt the power of the moon give her strength. The horn on her head glittered in the silvery light. And I gave it a 5-star rating. Recommendation. To children approximately aged 3 to 7 years of age, to anyone who loves animals in a children's setting, who loves unicorns, tigers, butterflies, owls, whales and dragons. And this would be a good one to read to your child. Does anyone still do that these days? I hope so, because I'm going to read this one to my daughter. Thank you very much for listening. Bye.